Lesson 21. Don't be convinced so easily by falling for the obvious conclusion or answer. Light used a small TV hidden within a bag of potato chips to continue writing the names of criminals being reported while being under surveillance. This convinced the detectives of Light's innocence, and they decided to search for other suspects. L, however, thought to himself, the obvious conclusion is that Kira couldn't be one of them. However, what if he is one of these people we were watching? Lesson 22. Imagine the ideal scenario, then try to figure out a way to realize it. To come up with the idea of working with Light, L thought, a mass murderer who calls himself Kira exists somewhere, I'm sure of it, and I will catch him, so what should I do? Ideally, I would get to know him well enough that he'd admit to me that he was Kira and show me how he kills. Lesson 23. Figure out the conditions and personal factors that maximize your performance. L, describing his unique sitting posture, explains, I don't sit like this because I want to. I have to sit like this. If I were to sit normally, my deductive skills would immediately be reduced by roughly 40%. Lesson 24. Know when to act quickly. When the Kira tape was being broadcast on Sakura TV, L quickly realizes that the messages are trying to gain public support for Kira, and he immediately orders, stop this broadcast, we can't let him finish. Moments later, Detective Yukita collapsed in front of the building. To prevent more police officers from independently taking action and suffering a similar fate, L promptly contacted the deputy director and explained, there may be police officers who will see this broadcast and will move to take action in the name of justice. If you don't take control of the situation quickly, there will be a disaster. Lesson 25. Think rationally. Make decisions based on sound reasoning. When Yukita rushed to Sakura TV to stop the broadcast of the second Kira's messages but collapsed in front of the station, Aizawa was about to follow suit. However, L intervened and cautioned him, saying, please think about this rationally. If this is truly the work of Kira, you'll just meet the same fate if you go there. Lesson 26. Get a second perspective from another person to verify your theories and to gain new insights. L deduced that the tapes from Sakura TV were the work of a second Kira rather than the original one. Instead of revealing his conclusion to Light, he showed him the tapes first not only to test him but also to see if he'll come to the same conclusion. L explained, if I was the only one who thought there was a second Kira, it wouldn't be too convincing. But the fact that we both came to the same conclusion makes the theory that much more believable. Lesson 27. Think about different options and how they'll play out to determine the best course of action. The second Kira sent another tape with a page of a diary to Sakura TV for broadcast, but they were intercepted by the investigation team. To determine what to do, L weighed two options. If we make the diary public, then we have to make some televised announcement canceling the game on the 30th, but if we don't broadcast it, we can be sure the second Kira won't do anything. Lesson 28. Realize when you're not thinking clearly and how that would influence your decisions and judgments. After discovering Misa's hair in one of the tapes she had sent to Sakura TV and learning of her connection to Light, L informs the detectives that if he were to die in the upcoming days, it would indicate that Light is Kira. But he explained, I may not be thinking as clearly as I normally do, so I could be wrong. Lesson 29. Don't let feelings influence your thinking. Maintain objectivity. Realizing that his emotions are getting the better of him, Soichiro Yagami asks to be confined with Light. L responds by saying, I agree, we can't let personal feelings get in the way. Lesson 30. Develop a hatred for losing and failing. Make it your goal to never be incorrect or make any errors. In one of his famous quotes, L says, Kira is childish and he hates losing. I'm also childish and hate to lose, that's how I know. While driving to the execution site, Soichiro explained to Light and Misa, L made this decision, not me, his word is absolute. Over the years he's tackled the most difficult cases, solving all of them. He's never been wrong. In the manga, L says, I have two rules. First, I'm never wrong. Second, if I'm wrong, back to the first rule. Lesson 31. Consider multiple explanations. Upon the emergence of a third Kira, L contemplated, Light Yagami used to be Kira. Kira's power has somehow passed on to another person. Was that because Light Yagami wanted it to happen, or was there someone else in control of Light Lair King in the background who gave him the power? Was it that person who passed Light's powers to someone else? Lesson 32. Be self-reliant and self-sufficient. Raise your level to be able to handle problems and achieve goals without needing help. The third Kira attempted to sway a group of politicians with bribes, causing the police to halt their investigation into him. Aware that continuing to pursue Kira could cost the detectives their jobs, L advised them, saying, "If you want my opinion, you'd be better off as police officers. I was alone when I started this case. And although I'm grateful to all of you for staying with me as long as you have, I know that I can do this by myself." Lesson 33. Rethink your strategy or formulate a new one if circumstances changed. Upon discovering the Yotsuba Group's connection to Kira and while sharing his plan with the investigation team, L received a message from Wadari informing him that Matsuda had been captured by the Yotsuba Group. In that moment, he declared, "We need to rethink our strategy." Lesson 34. Don't be impulsive or act out of panic or haste. When addressing the investigation team in relation to the Yotsuba Group investigation, L cautions them by saying, "Please be sure not to act impulsively out of panic or haste, and don't take matters into your own hands." Lesson 35. Know when to wait. Throughout the investigation, there were numerous instances where L chose to wait and observe the unfolding situation rather than take immediate action. For instance, when Matsuda was apprehended by Yotsuba, L advised the investigation team, "Let's just watch the situation for the time being." Upon confirming their connection to Kira, Light and the rest of the team were eager to arrest the Yotsuba businessmen immediately, except for L, who explained, "If we were to take action now, everything we've done will go to waste." A similar scenario arose with Higuchi. While Light and the others were keen on arresting him right away, L preferred to adopt a wait-and-see approach to understand how he carried out his killings. He stated, "We need to keep watching him. We'll learn nothing if we take him now. We may still find out how he kills." Lesson 36. Don't believe anything without solid proof. The task force installs wiretaps and surveillance cameras within the Yotsuba Group building. The businessmen discuss their plans to eliminate more competitors using the Death Note. But L explained, "We can only be completely sure after those people they've named are dead." He further emphasizes, "In order to catch Kira, we are going to need some solid proof." Lesson 37. Develop and use your intuition. To pursue Higuchi, L, Light, and Wadari hopped onto a helicopter with L taking the pilot's seat. Light, taken aback by L's unexpected talent, exclaimed, "I didn't realize you could pilot a helicopter, that's incredible," to which L replied, "You can figure it out with intuition." Lesson 38. Second guess everything you're presented with. After getting a death note from Higuchi, the task force members reviewed the rules written in the book. Among these rules is the fake rule added by Light, stating that after using the notebook, its owner must continue writing names at least once every 13 days or perish. The detectives all made the mistake of assuming the rule's authenticity, leading them to conclude that both Light and Misa were innocent, as they had been in confinement for more than 13 days. L, however, didn't fall for Light's ruse. He second-guesses everything. He doubted the 13-day rule and decided to test it. Lesson 39. Learn and gather as much information as possible about the subject matter. L didn't rely solely on the rules written in the Death Note to understand the way it works. Instead, he continued asking REM questions such as whether it's possible to use a torn piece of paper from the notebook. Lesson 40. Challenge yourself and raise your level by tackling difficult problems. Follow interests to perform better. In the manga, L says, "It's not a sense of justice. Figuring out difficult cases is my hobby. If you measured good and evil deeds by current laws, I would be responsible for many crimes. The same way you all like to solve mysteries and riddles, or clear video games more quickly. For me too, it's simply prolonging something I enjoy doing. That's why I only take on cases that pique my interest."